Okay.
Okay, so I just received a message via Facebook on a friend of mine who wanted me to find out some information that she's been wanting answers to for about 18 years now. I don't know what this is about or anything like that. I just know the first tiny little bit just because, and then I said, you know what, let's do a video of it. So I'm going to try to do this as possible. If we can do it, then great, and if not, if it doesn't work out just because it gets too personal or whatever, then I scrap the video. No big deal. And if it works out, fantastic, and I'll upload it tonight.
So what you're doing with this one is something you do frequently for a lot of people, and that's connecting with someone that's living versus someone that's passed.
Okay.
So this is it's not like a mediumship thing. It's more just your ability.
Okay, more psychic.
You're more psychic, yeah.
Okay.
Than mediumship. So so that's what this is. All right. Basically, the question that the main question of the whole thing is, was her dad with the stepmom before the mom passed?
Okay. This is going to be a little tricky. It's not going to be tricky because of the psychic part of it. It's going to be tricky because I remember that time personally.
Okay.
So I have to separate what I think or what I feel versus what actual information I get from it.
Okay.
So, which is okay,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just what happens. Some psychics can't do that. They can't separate personal stuff and non-personal stuff. Oh, Esme's. You little crab, you sleepy, honey? So, let's see. It's tricky because when I speak to her mom, because I know who we're talking about now. I know her mom's deceased, obviously, and from what you said, that's sort of, obvious or whatever a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just wants to sit up some.
Oh, no crying on me. Psychic dad.
Yeah. Dealing with a little acid reflux. Not very good. Go to the doctor tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. So, people know the exciting life is a psychic dad. This is one of it. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to have to separate the two things, which I can do, so I'll do that. Now, speaking with the mother, who's deceased, asking if she knows or not. She says yes, and it draws a lot of emotion. Now, she was sick for a while, stuff like that. So, but talking to her, I don't want to just get an opinion, I want to get a fact from her mom, because it's a very emotional thing, and obviously it's a very personal thing to the whole family. Does she specify She just says if they were together.
Yeah. Can you tell me if he was with her right before my mom had passed away? I don't want to tell you. I don't want to read the message to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll read it to you.
After the fact.
Yeah. I don't. I'm just.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I want to say. God, all right. I'm just talking with the mom, so that's why I'm quiet sitting here for a second. I just get very upset with it. Not angry, but just upset. Like I almost want to cry. Just because it's. She says yes. The mom says yes. And I'll cross-reference all that stuff with me checking out the dad. The mom says yes, and she said that there was like, the mom found stuff and questioned him about it, and he was like, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or sort of what she says is he was good at dodging things. So he was dodging the question or being like, well, just back and forth stuff. It's a tricky sort of thing, because and now I'm sort of looking at the dad, so I'm jumping sort of back and forth from what the mom is showing me and telling me.
Yeah.
To me going back and looking at the father.
Right.
And the father, I get that he was young, and I get that he was tended to be sort of flirty anyway. And I get conflicting things. I get a little bit of flirtiness, and I get also that he needed somebody, and she provided that, that whatever, through the stuff that he was going through. I get that they were sort of friends, and it was sort of friends. But I get that there was a purpose to her. That's all. It's almost like shopping for a new car when your old car is starting to go.
Okay.
That's the best way to sort of describe it. And you sort of find the right car dealer, and you kind of find the right car, you think, but your car is not necessarily gone yet. So you're kind of like, well, I'm going to go back and check it out a few more times. And I'm going to go and I'm going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get more comfortable with the car. Not necessarily take it out for a drive, per se, but, but sort of check it out, sit in it, see if I really, if this is a good idea or not for my next car.
Right.
It was sort of like that. So it's so by saying like that, it serves a lot of purposes. It's not just, my car died and now I have to go find another one immediately.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case. It was like a. Now for some reason the side of my head here hurts like a lot. I'm getting like really bad pains on the side of my head right here. So I don't know what that's all about, but. as it comes to me, I get it and I spit it out to you guys. But that's sort of how it worked out, because there's a lot of, from looking at him, there's a lot of different layers to it. It's not just,
Yeah.
it's not simple. I don't think I necessarily answered her question either. I get conflicted because I look at the dad's girlfriend, or whoever the woman was. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I look at her and she's, I don't know, she's like, this wasn't, it's sort of like, no, 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 I would never do that, I'm not that person,
Mhm.
but I'll do everything else around that, so I don't have to technically say yes.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you understand it, then everyone else will pretty much understand.
Well, they didn't have an affair. An affair, like a sexual affair.
Yeah,
They
I
weren't
don't
like
think so.
together, but emotionally they were together.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But there was a couple dates and stuff like that at the very, very end. But that might have been, I get
Yeah.
that there were 6 months to a year. 6 months to a year prior to the death of her mother.
Mhm.
That this sort of happened. But I get about a year. It might have been a little longer, but I get about a year. And then around 6 months, is when things got a little more interesting. That's all. And then the last 3 months prior to the death, that's when things started
kicked up.
solidifying more.
Right.
It's a tricky sort of thing because, and I've said this several times, because the death, like, she filled that need for him when he needed it.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? And he had a hard time with his wife's passing and all kinds of other things. He had a difficult time with this. So he didn't really have anybody.
Mhm.
So it makes it a really, really difficult.
So the answer is really yes and no.
Yeah, and that's...
There's not like a cut and dry answer.
No, I mean, you could say yes,
Yes, she was around.
yeah,
And yes, they were
she
hanging
was very
out,
interested,
and
and
yes,
yes, these things,
They were
but...
building a relationship.
Exactly. But I don't... It depends what you classify it as an affair.
Mhm.
If that means like flirting and chatting and blah, blah, and a little whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then that can be classified as an affair. If you think of affair as just sleeping with somebody, then, then whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of how your viewpoint is on it,
Right.
Was he emotionally... I don't know. It's hard. It's so complicated because his feelings for his wife, deceased wife, those feelings were genuine and all that kind of stuff, but...
Can
like
you
any-
ask the mom really quick,
Yeah.
what did he tell her in the hospital?
She laughs and she says, "Which time in the hospital?"
The last time.
Yeah. I get that he said that he loves her and all those kinds of things. But I get that she said it was okay for him to see somebody else. So that's what I get from the mom, is that there was an exchange at some point where it was sort of like, I can't fulfill these things for you. You need to, like, it's okay for you to find somebody else. But it's not, I don't it's doing it knowing that the car hasn't died yet. You know what I mean? It's okay to go look for another car. It's okay to, and that's to some degree. I don't know if he, I get conflicted. I don't know if he said that he met somebody else and she got really upset from it, and then that sort of brought that on. I don't know if I'm getting that from, I know I'm not, I don't know if I'm getting it from the mother per se, but I know I'm getting it from my friend, and I'm getting it from other family members and stuff like that. That's sort of like, you made her pass because, you know what I mean, you made the downfall of this really bad because of this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? The mom loved making excuses. My friend's mom loved making excuses for everybody because she saw the best in everybody, and she made excuses for everybody. So she's doing that now. She's kind of like, well, we were young and blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. You know what I mean? And I was a pain in the butt, and I was a hassle, and whatever. You know, and I can understand these things, and that's what she did, though. She let herself sort of get beat up to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
You know? That's tricky, man. So it's a yes and no, is what the answer is. A yes and no.
Okay.
There was something in, there's an undeniable something about how long that something was said in the hospital to really upset the mom.
Yeah.
There's no denying that at all. There's not even a maybe about that. Something was said, you know.
Yeah, she just doesn't want to share it.
Not really, because she starts like backpedaling and making excuses
Yeah.
for things and being like, well, blah, blah, like sort of painting a prettier picture, you know?
Yeah.
And she's like, it's not right to cast a stone on anybody and blah, blah, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
okay to do these things, and I don't want to...
Sorry for the shake. I had to readjust my leg.
You're fine. Obviously. Is she asking specifically what was said?
No, I know. I'm reading and I see what was said.
Okay.
So I didn't know if the mom would talk about that at all or not. Because when I tried to ask her, she didn't want to talk about that at all. It was almost like it never happened. So I didn't know if it was something that was told to the family that wasn't a truth, or that that's something they felt happened, or if it was a truth that did happen. So you're right about there. It was a conversation that happened in the hospital that was bad.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't... So that...
And it was about him and this other woman, correct?
I'm assuming so.
Okay.
I mean, I know what this says, but I'm assuming the other woman thing came into play with this,
Mm-hmm.
just because of the nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't want to say it to me, and I know you have a better relationship with her.
Oh, yeah, the mom?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know her, so I've only, quote unquote, met her once, really.
Yeah.
Well, twice, but...
Yeah, she's a sweet woman.
But, so I don't know if what this person is saying is a fact, or if it was assumed that that's what was said in the hospital.
And that was just between
Him and her.
him and her.
Yeah.
But she's telling me that she could write stuff down. She could communicate in some way.
Uh-huh.
And I'm getting that she could write stuff down is what she's telling me. She's like, I could like, kind of like that, and I can like write a little bit. Like not great, but I can like try to get stuff across to people. Like that's at the very, very end.
Okay. So maybe she did tell them about the conversation.
Yeah, that's very possible.
Okay.
Or the gist of the conversation.
Right. Well, that's pretty...
What, pretty exact?
Mm-hmm. Like a cut and dry kind of thing, so...
Now, okay, so what was said was I found somebody else and blah, 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 and I'm leaving you, and that's that? Was that sort of how it went?
Well, I mean, if that's what you're getting, that's probably the background of it. It just said, my family and myself believe that he did because he told my mom while she was in the hospital that when she gets out, he wants a divorce.
Okay.
And then it says she never came out of the hospital.
Yeah, okay. So what I said was
So,
right then?
yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
But I didn't know if she would actually say, this is what he said or how, and the fact that, you're talking about that I found somebody else, that whole thing. So that's
Yeah.
probably how the conversation went down. And the
Mhm.
divorce thing, I think, to her mom was something that was just not okay, especially given her state being, you know, sick or whatever. And
Yeah. The problem is she would have nobody then.
yeah,
So sometimes in young relationships, majority of young relationships, they're very volatile and they're very explosive, and people have a really hard time coping with emotions and coping with certain things when they're really young. And I
right.
get this was one of those relationships.
Yeah.
Not that there's not some genuine care and all kinds of other stuff, but it was just that type of relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Um, your mom, no matter what?
You're hitting the 21 minute.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'll wrap this up quick. So yeah, I mean, yeah, those things were obviously from what I told you guys and told you, that yeah, that's like those things are true. Do you know what I'm saying? But he needed somebody because he knew that this wasn't going to last forever.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the problem is some of the lies that the living hold become truths over X amount of years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, no, this was really how, this is really how, this is really how, this is really how.
Yeah.
And I get that there was some tit for tat towards the end also with the mom and the husband. The mom was deceased, my friend's mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that there was a lot of tit for tat once in a while. They went back and forth, and that's normal for a younger relationship or, a relationship. It's just tough. That's all. There's a lot of stresses and a lot of issues and all kinds of stuff going on, so it just makes things tough.
Yeah.
Um, the mom keeps talking about several times. She keeps bringing up the sweatpants that he got for her. And she's like, he always got my favorite sweatpants for me. Um, and she's really, really fond of that. I mean, I'm not going to get into any more of this sort of stuff, but I'll get into a little bit of the mom, just because. You know what I mean? Because she obviously doesn't want to live it. She'll say what she wants to say about this stuff, but that's not who she is. That doesn't define who she is.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about her sweatpants, and she talks about her 2 or 3 pairs of socks she wears. She talks about the little color television that was watched all the time, like a glass tube one. She talks like The Price is Right and these different shows and Wheel of Fortune and different shows and stuff. That's for entertainment, She talks about like a maroon or reddish color phone with a cord. That she used to talk, and there's a yellow one also. But she talks about one of those 2 color phones. The cord going from the kitchen into her room, whatever. But just talking on the phone a lot with friends and stuff. And she keeps saying that my friend who sent the message, you know, that she's, their mom's very proud of her, and she loves her, and she was never supposed to have the same life that her mom had. So that's important that's important. You know, just relationship wise and everything like that. She wasn't supposed to have that sort of life. So that's sort of why she's ended up where she is and all that sort of stuff. You know?
Mm-hmm.
The mom has told me 3 times now that her stomach doesn't hurt, and she points to like this side of her stomach.
Okay.
She's like, my stomach doesn't hurt anymore. I don't have anything wrong with my stomach anymore. My stomach is fine. And she talks about all kinds of different things. She talks about looking up at the stars and seeing her mom, and I know there was a question about the dreams, the mom and the dream thing. So since I'm talking to the mom so much now, I figured it'd be good to just, you know, to try to get into that. Okay. I don't know. I'm not gonna jump into it. I was going to, but I don't want to run up tons of time because I can keep going.
You can split them into 2 if you want.
No, it's fine. I'll just do it in one. But I don't want to. It's not a big deal. That's all. But she loves her. She loves her, and she's around for her. And she's like, you're never supposed to have the same life I have. And that's really important for her to know. Like, you know, I took the brunt of everything or whatever, so you wouldn't have to have the same life I had. And she doesn't have the same life.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that. So, I guess that's sort of it. Is there anything else in that message or no?
No. That was basically what she wanted the answer to. That's it.
Okay, I guess that's it.
Okay.
How long has it been?
27 minutes.
Okay, cool. Okay.